I didn't hear the boulder until it was too late. The crash was deafening. Glass exploded inward, sending shards flying across the room. Abigail shot upright in bed, eyes wide with terror. The boulder landed in the center of our living room, crushing the coffee table like it was made of paper. A second later, a roar tore through the night. Not just any roar. The one I couldn't forget. The one that haunted my dreams since the night in the forest. The hybrid. Bo's answering roar came from outside. Deep, ferocious, challenging. An instant later, his father's bellow joined in. "They found us," I whispered, already scrambling out of bed. Abigail didn't waste time asking questions. She darted to the closet, yanking open the locked cabinet where we kept the firearms. I grabbed my rifle, my sidearm, and as much ammo as I could strap to my belt. I looked at Abigail, her face pale but determined. "Stay close to me," I said. She nodded, loading her high-powered rifle, her hands steady despite the chaos. I pulled my phone from my pocket, dialing Chief Samuel Black Elk as fast as I could. He picked up after the first ring. "Chief, it's Clay," I whispered, trying not to panic. "The hybrid found us. It's here, along with something else. We need backup, now." Samuel's voice was steady, calm despite my frantic tone. "Hold your ground. We're coming. Stay alive." I ended the call and looked out the shattered window. Bo and his father were already out in the yard, facing the tree line. Shadows shifted in the darkness, too large to be anything but what we feared. A shape moved from the trees, massive, rotting, hunched. The hybrid stepped into the open, its dark fur bristling, bloodshot eyes fixated on the house. But that wasn't the worst of it. Beside it, another figure emerged. An evil Bigfoot, even darker and more menacing than the ones we had fought before. Its eyes glowed a sinister red. And then, the forest itself seemed to come alive, the trees shifting and parting as something else moved into view. It walked on two legs, towering and gaunt, with massive antlers spreading from its skull. Its skin was pale and rotted, patches of fur clinging to its skeletal frame. The Wendigo. Its jaws hung open, revealing sharp, yellowed teeth, and its eyes burned with a sickly green light. My stomach turned. 3 of them, all massive. We were outnumbered, outmatched. The hybrid threw back its head and screamed. A sound that pierced the night. Bo and his father answered, but I could tell even they knew this was different. The hybrid charged. Bo met it halfway, slamming into the beast with a force that shook the ground. They grappled, the hybrid's claws digging into Bo's arms as Bo roared in defiance. Bo's father charged the evil Bigfoot, and the two collided in a brutal melee of fists and claws. The Wendigo hung back, its hollow eyes watching with eerie calm. I didn't trust that thing for a second. It looked like a corpse brought to life, with patches of fur matted and falling off, revealing sickly pale flesh beneath. Its antlers looked cracked and ancient, like they belonged on a long-dead beast, not something still breathing. "Clay, there," Abigail shouted. The Wendigo suddenly lunged, moving faster than expected. I fired, but the bullet barely seemed to slow it down. It was headed right for Bo's father. Before I could fire again, a flash of movement caught my eye. The hybrid had broken free of Bo's grip and was barreling toward the house. "Abigail, move," I shouted, shoving her behind the counter. The hybrid's claw tore through the wall, narrowly missing Abigail's head. I fired point blank into its side, but the beast hardly noticed, its glowing red eyes fixed on me. Before it could strike again, Bo tackled it from the side, driving it back out through the hole it had made. They crashed into the yard, rolling and trading blows. Abigail steadied her rifle and fired a clean shot at the evil Bigfoot, hitting it in the shoulder. It snarled and turned toward us, but Bo's father wasn't letting it near the house. He grappled it, pushing it back toward the trees. The Wendigo moved with unnatural grace, circling behind Bo's father while he fought. Abigail noticed it before I did. "Look out!" she screamed. The Wendigo lunged, its antlers aiming for Bo's father's back. Without thinking, I fired. The bullet hit the antler, splintering part of it, but not stopping the charge. Then Abigail took her shot. A perfect, calculated shot. The bullet slammed into the Wendigo's eye, causing it to stagger back with a shriek of pain. Bo's father reacted quickly, ripping off one of the broken antlers and stabbing it deep into the Wendigo's side. The monster wailed, thrashing wildly. Bo's father didn't stop. He tore the other antler free, slamming it into the creature's head over and over until the Wendigo fell back, twitching and lay still. But there was no time to celebrate. The hybrid roared, slashing Bo across the chest and sending him sprawling. It turned toward the house, eyes locked on Abigail. Before I could react, it reached through the window, its massive hand grabbing her ankle. "No!" I screamed, grabbing at her. The hybrid yanked her through the shattered frame, dragging her across the yard. Abigail screamed, kicking and fighting. I fired twice, but the hybrid was too fast, hauling her toward the tree line. Bo let out a sound I'd never heard, pure, raw rage. He bounded into a tree, using the height to his advantage. I lost sight of him for a second, and then he dropped like a comet, landing squarely on the hybrid's back, his massive arms wrapping around its neck. The impact sent both of them crashing to the ground, Abigail rolling free. I rushed to her side, pulling her away as Bo and the hybrid fought, their bodies rolling and slamming against the ground. Claws tore into fur, teeth snapped at throats. Bo wouldn't let go, even when the hybrid raked its claws down his back, drawing lines of crimson. Abigail clutched my arm, shaking but alive. The hybrid bucked, throwing Bo off, and lunged at us again. I fired my pistol, the shot grazing its cheek, but it didn't slow. Just as it was about to reach us, Bo's father barreled into it from the side, slamming it into the side of the house. The hybrid scrambled to its feet, bleeding and wild. Bo joined his father, both of them circling the creature, cutting off its escape. A sudden sound made us all pause. The roar of engines. The Guardian unit had arrived. Relief washed over me like a flood. The evil Bigfoot tried to charge the Guardian unit while they were still in their trucks, but Abigail took aim, her breathing steady despite the chaos. She fired once, twice, 3 times. The shots hit the evil Bigfoot in the head. The creature's skull caved in, and its head was nearly severed from its body. It collapsed, dead before it hit the ground. Daniel, Mikey, Tom, and Jesse jumped out of the trucks, rifles at the ready. They moved with the precision of men who had fought these battles before, coordinated, focused. The hybrid snarled at the new arrivals, its red eyes darting between the approaching squad and Bo. It knew it was now outnumbered. For a second, it almost seemed to hesitate. Then it let out a piercing roar, the kind that felt like it was vibrating my bones, and started backing toward the tree line. "Surround it," Daniel shouted, gesturing for his men to fan out. "Don't let it escape." Bo and his father didn't need orders. They moved as if they had fought in formation their whole lives. Bo's father took the left flank, Bo the right, and the Guardians spread out to cover the hybrid's escape routes. But just as it seemed cornered, the hybrid made a desperate move. It lunged at Bo with a vicious swipe. Bo ducked, but the hybrid anticipated it, spinning around and slamming its fist into Bo's side. Bo staggered, but his father was on the hybrid in an instant, grappling with it and trying to pin it down. The hybrid roared and twisted free, but before it could fully regain its balance, Jesse fired a shot that clipped its leg. The beast let out a snarl, momentarily stunned. Tom moved in closer, taking careful aim. "We can't let it get away this time," he called out. The hybrid seemed to realize it was losing ground. With a feral growl, it dropped to all fours and lunged toward the tree line, its movements unnaturally fast. Bo's father chased after it, but it was too quick, weaving between the trees and disappearing into the darkness. "Damn it!" Daniel cursed, lowering his rifle. I watched the shadows, waiting for it to reappear, but the night had swallowed it whole. "Where's Abigail?" Daniel asked, looking around. "She's safe," I panted, pointing back toward the porch where she was catching her breath. Bo was beside her, protective as ever. Jesse knelt by the remains of the Wendigo, nudging it with his boot. "You ever see one of these up close?" "No," Mikey replied, his voice tense. "And I hope I never do again." Bo's father walked back toward the house, his steps slower than usual. I noticed a deep gash on his shoulder, bleeding but not life-threatening. Bo gave him a once-over, sniffing at the wound with a low, concerned rumble. "Clay," Abigail called softly. "Are you okay?" I pulled her into a tight hug. "Yeah, you?" She nodded against my chest, still shaking. "That thing, it was dragging me," I thought. "It's gone now," I reassured her, though I wasn't sure how long that would be true. Chief Samuel arrived a few minutes later, his expression grave as he took in the scene. He stepped over the torn-up dirt and scattered debris, eyeing the damage. "They've never attacked this boldly before," I said. Samuel nodded, his face stern. "This is different. They're growing more aggressive." I looked back toward the tree line where the hybrid had vanished. "It's not just aggression. It's like that hybrid was looking for something. Or someone." Samuel's gaze sharpened. "What do you mean?" I hesitated, trying to find the right words. When it looked at me, it felt personal, like it knew me. Abigail glanced at me, confusion and fear flickering across her face. "Why would it target you specifically?" "I don't know," I admitted. "But I can't shake the feeling that this hybrid, it's not just any creature. There's something about it that feels familiar," Samuel finished for me. I didn't answer. I couldn't. The thought made me feel uneasy. Daniel interrupted, pointing to the remains of the Wendigo. "You want us to burn it, Chief?" Samuel nodded. "It's not safe to leave it here. The scent will attract more." Jesse and Mikey began gathering kindling, while Tom poured gasoline over the corpse. I watched, feeling a strange sense of finality as the flames roared to life. The Wendigo's twisted form cracked and hissed as it burned. Bo's father growled low, clearly uneasy with the fire, but Bo stood his ground, eyes fixed on the blaze. "Why did they attack us like this?" Abigail asked, her voice trembling. Samuel took a deep breath, his eyes narrowing. "Something is stirring them up. This level of coordination is uncommon. Dogmen, Wendigos, corrupted Bigfoot. They don't usually work together this consistently, unless something far more dangerous is commanding them." "Like that giant," I said. "The Nephilim." "Yes," Samuel agreed. "But it's not just the giant. There's a greater force at play here. And if they found this place, they'll be back." Bo let out a soft grunt, rubbing his shoulder where the hybrid had clawed him. Abigail moved closer, checking his wound despite his reluctant huff. "We can't just keep waiting for them to attack us," I said. "We have to take the fight to them." Samuel looked thoughtful. There's one place they might be coming from. A place older than any of us. If they're gathering forces, it would be there. Where? Daniel asked, wiping the sweat from his brow. Hollow Earth, Samuel replied, his tone grave. Silence settled over the yard. I had heard legends about it. Stories about a world beneath our world. A place teeming with ancient creatures and civilizations, lost to time. It's real? I asked, trying to make sense of it. Samuel nodded. It's real, and there's an entrance somewhere deep in the Montana wilderness. If the Nephilim are trying to establish dominance again, it will start there. That's their home. Abigail's grip tightened on my arm. You're saying we have to go down there. If we want to stop this, Samuel said, we have to cut them off at the source. We can't keep fighting skirmishes while they regroup and strengthen. We have to strike at the heart. Daniel looked at the remnants of our yard, the broken branches and the tracks in the dirt. If they're gathering forces, this hybrid is just the beginning. They'll keep coming. Bo grunted, clearly eager for a fight. His father nodded in agreement, his gaze unwavering. I couldn't help but glance back at the darkness where the hybrid had vanished. There was something about the way it looked at me, like it was hunting me specifically. The thought chilled me. Samuel put a hand on my shoulder. Whatever that hybrid is, it sees you as a threat. Or worse, an obstacle. I sat quiet for a couple of seconds. Whatever problem it has with me, I'll solve it in Hollow Earth. Samuel gave a slow nod. Then we will gather our strength. Because once we enter Hollow Earth, there's no guarantee we will make it back. I glanced back at the shadows, where the hybrid had vanished. I couldn't shake that feeling. The one that told me this was personal. That creature wasn't just after anyone. It was after me. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to Descent into the Unknown for more horror content. If you have any real cryptid encounters, or you're a horror writer wanting to share your stories, please feel free to email me in the description anytime.